May 6, 1944, Nagoya, Japan. In the muted dawn light filtering through the overcast skies over the Mitsubishi Aircraft Company's airfield in Nagoya, the air hung heavy with the scent of aviation fuel and machine oil as ground crews in khaki uniforms moved methodically around the sleek form of the A7M Reppu prototype, its radial engine cowling gleaming faintly under the diffused sunlight. The Nakajima MK9H Homare 11 engine idling with a low, resonant hum that vibrated through the concrete apron, sending faint tremors up through the boots of the engineers who adjusted the control surfaces with precise gloved hands. The sound of metal tools clinking against aluminum skin, punctuating the restrained murmurs of technical discussions, while in the distance, the faint rumble of factory machinery from the nearby Mitsubishi plants echoed the urgency of wartime production. The aircraft itself a testament to 2 years of labored design initiated in April 1942 under Jiro Horikoshi's team to succeed the aging A6M Zero, incorporating a larger wingspan of 14 meters and a robust fuselage designed for speeds exceeding 345 knots at 6,000 meters altitude, armed with 2 Type 99 20mm cannons and 2 Type 3 13.2mm machine guns, yet plagued by engine selection debates between the NK9 and MK9 models amid material shortages. The pilot, clad in a leather flight suit and helmet, climbed the ladder to the cockpit with steady footsteps that echoed softly on the rungs, settling into the seat where the instruments glowed dimly in the cockpit's shadowed interior, the control stick firm in his grip as he ran through pre-flight checks, the canopy closing with a hydraulic hiss that sealed him in a cocoon of dials and levers. Outside, the windsock hung limp in the still air, humidity thick from recent rains that left puddles reflecting the gray clouds, as the engine roared to life with a throaty growl, propellers slicing the air into a whirlwind of dust and exhaust smoke that billowed across the runway, stinging the eyes of observers in peaked caps who stood at a safe distance, notebooks in hand to record every parameter. The aircraft taxied forward with a rhythmic jolt over the uneven tarmac, tires crunching gravel, aligning with the runway's white markers under the watchful eyes of Imperial Japanese Navy officials who had issued the 17 Shi specification in July 1942, demanding climb to 6,000 meters in under 6 minutes and maneuverability rivaling the A6M The takeoff roll began with accelerating thunder, the tail lifting as speed built, wheels leaving the ground at precisely 110 knots, the Reppu climbing steadily into the hazy sky where patches of blue pierced the clouds, the pilot noting the responsive handling as he banked gently to port, the airframe shuddering slightly against crosswinds at 2,000 meters, engine temperature gauges holding steady at 220 degrees Celsius amid the whine of superchargers engaging, yet the top speed tests revealing a disappointing 340 knots, underpowered as feared by engineers who had warned of the Homare's unreliability. Vibrations transmitting through the stick like distant artillery, the landscape below a patchwork of rice fields and industrial sprawl blurred by altitude, smoke from distant chimneys rising in thin columns. The test flight circling the airfield for 45 minutes with measured dives and climbs, the landing gear extending with a mechanical clunk, flaps deploying to slow the descent, wheels touching down with a puff of tire smoke and a jolt that compressed the oleo struts, the propeller windmilling to a stop as the aircraft rolled to a halt, ground crew rushing forward with chocks and fire extinguishers at the ready, the pilot emerging, sweat-dampened but composed, reporting excellent stability but insufficient power. Notes that would lead to heated debriefings in the hangar, where blueprints lay spread on tables under harsh electric lights, the metallic tang of welding lingering from ongoing modifications, all amid the broader context of Allied advances in the Pacific, where American F6H Hellcats and F4U Corsairs dominated skies over the Marianas, underscoring the Reppu's urgent need, yet highlighting delays from resource constraints and prior commitments to A6M variants. The day's log entries capturing the restrained optimism of a project teetering on the edge of realization. The sun now higher, casting long shadows over the airfield as workers dispersed to their shifts, the prototype towed back to the hangar with the creak of tow bars and the faint drip of cooling oil, a single entry in the classified report noting the flight's success without fanfare. The air cooling as evening approached, with the distant hum of city life persisting under the weight of total war mobilization. Engineers poring over data sheets by lamplight, calculating thrust-to-weight ratios and drag coefficients. The Reppu's form silhouetted against the hangar doors as mechanics inspected rivets and wiring, the cold steel of tools in hand, the faint echo of footsteps on concrete floors, smoke from cigarettes curling in the still air, discussions turning to potential engine swaps amid rumors of American B-29 sightings over China. The project's timeline stretched by material rationing and labor shortages, yet the aircraft's potential as a zero killer, evident in its sturdy construction and firepower, designed to intercept high-altitude bombers with armored cockpit glass and self-sealing fuel tanks, features absent in earlier models. The day's end marked by the dimming lights and the securing of classified documents in locked cabinets, the airfield falling silent save for the occasional gust rattling hangar sheets, a grounded narrative of innovation amid encroaching defeat. The Reppu's wings folded in storage, reflecting the restrained hope of naval aviation's future, the cold night air seeping through cracks. October 13, 1944, Nagoya, Japan. Under the clear autumn skies of Nagoya's Mitsubishi airfield, where the crisp air carried the sharp bite of falling leaves mixed with the acrid exhaust of idling engines, the A7M Reppu prototype stood ready on the tarmac. Its Mitsubishi MK9 Ha-43 radial engine, delivering 2,200 horsepower, humming with a deeper, more authoritative resonance than its predecessor. The ground crew in oil-stained coveralls tightening the last bolts on the cowling with metallic clinks that echoed across the expanse. The aircraft's redesigned airframe incorporating lessons from the A7M1's July halt. Permission secured for continuation, despite the Navy's July 30 order to cease due to underperformance, now featuring enhanced supercharging and refined aerodynamics to achieve the specified 630 km per hour at optimum altitude. The pilot, renowned ace Saburo Sakai, approached with measured steps, his boots crunching on the gravel-strewn apron. Climbing into the cockpit, where the leather seat creaked under his weight, instruments arrayed in precise order, glowing under the midday sun that cast harsh glints off the propeller blades. The canopy sliding shut with a solid thud, sealing in the faint scent of hydraulic fluid and polished metal. Outside, the wind lightly rustled the flags atop the control tower, visibility unlimited with no clouds to obscure the horizon. The engine igniting with a burst of blue flame from the exhaust stacks, settling into a steady roar that drowned out the distant factory whistles, signaling shift changes. The Reppu taxied forward with smooth precision, tires rolling over faint cracks in the runway caused by recent seismic activity from the Tonankai earthquake tremors felt in the region, aligning for takeoff as observers in naval uniforms noted timestamps in logbooks. The acceleration pressing Sakai back as the tail rose, wheels lifting at 115 knots into the azure sky. The climb rate surpassing 6,000 meters in 5.5 minutes, the airframe responding with agile grace to control inputs, banking sharply to starboard, where the G-forces pulled at his flight suit. Engine temperature stable at 230 degrees amid the whine of turbines. Top speed tests pushing 352 knots without strain, far exceeding the A7M1's limits. The landscape below a mosaic of urban sprawl and farmland, blurred by velocity. Faint smoke trails from anti-aircraft drills in the distance, reminding of the war's proximity. Sakai executing mock dogfights with imagined adversaries like the Grumman F6F, the Reppu's maneuverability rivaling the Zero's while offering superior speed and climb. The cockpit vibrating lightly with the engine's power, cold air seeping through seals at higher altitudes where oxygen masks hissed steadily. The test lasting an hour with dives reaching 400 knots, recovery pulls smooth without buffet, landing gear deploying with a hydraulic whir, flaps extending to bleed speed, the touchdown gentle with a puff of rubber smoke and the chirp of tires on concrete. The aircraft rolling to a stop as ground crew swarmed with extinguishers and checklists. Sakai emerging with a composed demeanor, his debrief transcript noting exceptional performance and impressing upon the Navy the design's viability. The hangar's interior lit by overhead bulbs where blueprints detailed the A7M2's modifications, including strengthened landing gear for carrier operations on vessels like the Taiho or Shinano, though carrier losses at Leyte Gulf loomed in reports, the air heavy with the tang of solder from wiring repairs. Engineers calculating fuel consumption rates at 300 liters per hour, the project's momentum renewed amid material scarcities exacerbated by Allied submarine blockades. The day's log capturing the flight's data without embellishment. The sun dipping lower, casting elongated shadows over the airfield. Mechanics inspecting the engine cylinders for wear under flashlight beams. The cold metal surfaces cooling rapidly in the evening chill. Discussions in the briefing room over tea steaming in cups. Sakai's grounded assessment highlighting the Reppu's potential to counter B-29 raids that had begun probing Japanese airspace. The first such incursion on Yawata in June, now escalating. The aircraft towed back with the groan of machinery, secured under camouflage netting as night fell. The faint footsteps of sentries patrolling the perimeter. The project's classified reports filed in steel cabinets. The restrained atmosphere reflecting the Empire's dwindling resources, yet unyielding determination. The Reppu's form a symbol of late-war innovation, its wings promising dominance in skies increasingly filled with American formations. The night silence broken only by the distant drone of transport planes. The cold March 12, 1945, Nagoya, Japan. Amid the pre-dawn darkness enveloping Nagoya's industrial district, where the chill night air thickened with the scent of coal smoke from factory stacks, and the distant hum of assembly lines persisted through blackout curtains, the Mitsubishi plant, housing the A7M Reppu prototypes, buzzed with subdued activity. Engineers in dim-lit workshops adjusting the final armaments on the 5th A7M2 airframe under the Navy's renewed order for production as the Model 22. The MK9A engine cylinders gleaming coldly under inspection lamps, tools clinking methodically against metal as workers installed the Type 99 cannons with precise torque. The atmosphere heavy with the knowledge of escalating Allied air raids, the first precision strike on December 13, 1944, having damaged engine production facilities nearby, with 90 B-29 Superfortresses dropping high explosives that shook the ground like thunder. Craters still visible on adjacent lots, filled with rainwater reflecting the faint moonlight. Now, on this date, the sirens suddenly wailed across the city at 00:15 hours, piercing the quiet with their rising and falling tone that sent workers scrambling for shelters, footsteps echoing hurriedly on concrete floors as they grabbed helmets and rushed to slit trenches dug along the perimeter. The sky to the south filling with the distant drone of engines, a low rumble growing into a deafening chorus as 313 B-29s from the 21st Bomber Command approached at 7,000 feet, their formation silhouetted against the stars. The first incendiary clusters tumbling from bomb bays with a whistling descent, impacting the urban areas with bursts of magnesium fire that ignited wooden structures in brilliant orange blooms. The heat radiating even to the plant's outskirts, where flames licked skyward, smoke billowing thick and black, choking the air with acrid fumes that stung eyes and throats. Anti-aircraft guns from the 4th Air Defense Division barking in response with sharp cracks, tracers arcing upward in red streams but falling short in the high-altitude murk, searchlights sweeping the clouds in futile beams, the plant's camouflage netting shuddering under shockwaves from nearby hits, a direct strike on an adjacent warehouse erupting in a fireball that lit the night like day, debris raining down with metallic clatters on hangar roofs, the Reppu prototypes inside vibrating on their jacks as the ground trembled, engineers emerging briefly to assess damage amid the chaos, the cold dirt of trenches pressing against their bodies as they huddled, the roar of overhead bombers persisting for hours, radar-directed drops concentrating on the city's heart, where 8 square miles of commercial and industrial zones burned fiercely, the glow illuminating the horizon in a hellish red, explosions from munitions stores punctuating the inferno with deep booms, the wind fanning flames into firestorms that sucked in oxygen with a howling rush, ash falling like snow on the airfield where runways cracked under thermal stress, the project's logbooks secured in underground vaults capturing the raid's interruption without drama, production halted as power lines severed with sparks flying in the darkness, workers returning at dawn to smoldering ruins where twisted metal frames of buildings stood skeletal, the scent of charred wood and melted rubber pervasive, footsteps crunching over debris as salvage operations began under overcast skies threatening rain. The Reppu's potential as a high-altitude interceptor against these very B-29s underscored by the raid's devastation. Yet only 7 prototypes completed amid repeated attacks like January 3rd and 14th on Mitsubishi facilities. Engine deliveries delayed by bombed rail lines. The Navy's plans for land-based A7M variants with supercharged HA-43 engines stalled by material shortages. The day's aftermath revealing buckled hangar doors and scattered blueprints singed at edges, mechanics in soot-covered faces repairing wiring with steady hands, the cold tools slipping slightly from fatigue. Discussions in the command office over rationed tea, noting the raid's toll of 274 effective bombers, destroying key infrastructure, the Empire's air defenses overwhelmed by the sheer volume. The Reppu's arrival deemed too late as American forces closed on Okinawa. The project's restrained continuation amid evacuations and relocations. The sun rising weakly through haze to cast pallid light on the wreckage, the faint drip of water from fire hoses pooling on the ground. A grounded account of innovation curtailed by overwhelming force.